Good evening, everybody. I have a simple question. Who are your heroes? When I say the word heroes, what pops into your head? Who are the people that inspire you to do more, who've inspired humanity to do more? You think technology, you think athletes like Usain Bolt, Serena Williams, Manny Pacquiao, who push the limits of what is possible for a human to do and inspired us all to be even better in the Olympics and the type of competitions they've been involved with? You think technology, people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, who've influenced the devices we use every single day, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys are checking your Facebook right now. What about civil rights? My personal favorite. Who pushed the limits of what we thought about each other. Malala Yousafzai, Martin Luther King, and finally Gandhi. Malala Yousafzai, who was shot in the head by the Taliban, but rose again to try to tell her tale and also win the Nobel Peace Prize. What if I told you you'd never be like that? And what if I told you that was the most liberating thing you could possibly know? Because again, there will only be one Serena Williams, one Malala Yousafzai, one Martin Luther King, one Usain Bolt, one of all these other people, but also there'll be one you. And that's the part that should matter. The title of my speech is, What is Your Story? And to empower you guys, everybody in this audience, with the knowledge that we get to create and recreate our story every single day. And then we have lack of ideas to create these stories. We can respond and listen to the heroes of the past and our present to, again, recreate this story. But before I tell you how to create your own story, I'll tell you mine. My name is Ikechi Ukazu. I am a finance major, of course, at the University of Houston, that's why I'm here. And this is my final semester before going into my career as a financial advisor. This is not the story I thought it was going to be originally. For the longest time, I thought I was going to be a musician. At the age of 14, I received my first pair of drumsticks, and I was instantly hooked. In every single class, I was drumming on my lap with a pair of drumsticks and not even listening to anything the teacher was saying because I was so hooked on this instrument. I started practicing after school as soon as we got out from our last class until 9 o'clock at night because I love music, I love how it can touch people. Up until the age of 18, I thought, let me continue this. Let me try to play for different musicians like Taylor Swift, Justin Timberlake, Usher. Let me try to be that guy. This is going to be my story. I'm so excited about it. I was actually approached by a Marine recruiter at the age of 18, and he gave me an audition, and the rest is history. I became a Marine. I'm a Marine musician. I played drums in the Marine Corps. And again, this is a continuation of my story. Music was still everything. I practiced every single day. I love music. I still love music. And up until 2009, I went to Afghanistan, and that's where everything changed. That's where my story changed. I kept playing drums over there. I actually played drums in a church band over there, and it was a big help to the troops and everybody trying to be uplifted, of course, by being separated by their family. And I noticed as I started playing more and more, again, with these church gigs and these church performances, I started developing a pain every time I would strike the drum. It would be just in my right hand, and then extend it to my left hand until it was both hands all the time, even when I wasn't playing. And I remember the sinking feeling of realizing this may not always be my story. I may have to redecide what I need to do. So I came to University of Houston in 2013, into the Moore School of Music, and again, I joined the jazz band. I actually entered the top band there. And I thought that music, again, was going to be everything for me. I started playing gigs out in town, playing more churches, things like that. Again, music was my love, my passion. I listened to it every single day. But then the pain started coming back again, and I didn't know what I was going to do. It got so bad to the point where I would try to write my signature on my homework that I had worked all night doing because my hands were in such pain. But I looked down at my signature and it looked like a second grader had written my signature because it was just so painful. And I cried my eyes out to my teacher because, again, this is something that was supposed to be easy for me. This is music. This is my livelihood. So I took a year off and I went back home, more depressed than ever, not knowing what my story was going to be. But thankfully I had my heroes to inspire me to go forward. I'll start personal though, and I'll expand outwards. Personally, my father and my family was a great source of strength for me. My father, first of all, because he's the one that kept my family together for the longest time. Even when my mother passed away, even my mother dealt with mental illnesses, he's the one that kept my family together. He was a rock. And he told me that I need to persevere throughout everything that I do. And of course, Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States. His speaking still inspires me to this day, even though he's not president anymore, which is kind of saddening to me. And then finally, Malala Yousafzai. I actually found out about her about 2 years ago, and she's one of the greatest orators of this day. I first saw her on an episode of Ellen where she just said one word and immediately made you want to go forward and do something about it. To affect the children of today and to try to increase their education and let everybody have the opportunity to improve their lives. These are my heroes. Again, this was my story. I thought I was going to be a musician for the rest of my life, but actually these people pushed me into a new direction. So instead of connecting people through music, it was connecting through finance and trying to help people and talk and communicate and all these sort of things and still bring smiles to people's faces. So I came back 2013 to universities and I found my purpose again. And it was the longest time before I was able to say that. I entered programs like TED Bar Leadership Certificate Program, the Finance Association in Bauer, and I finally felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm on my track to recreating my story. But it wasn't the people who were personal to me and also impersonal that I was able to recreate this story and now find a new direction, a new chapter to my story. So I want to ask you, who are your heroes? They may be sitting right next to you. And he looks at his friend. They may be somebody you can call at the touch of a dial on your phone. But I ask you, I implore you to reach out to these heroes because they're the people that help you create your story when you lose all sight of hope in making your own. There's a great quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. It says, the future belongs to people who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I say this again because I want to ask you all, what is your story? You are the author of your story every single day. Every single day. I actually started reading a book by Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Individuals. And one of the quotes of the story says, to begin with the end in mind. To begin with your legacy in mind. And yes, it may change, it may deviate from that, but also knowing that the people who have struggled through the same exact thing as you struggled with, you can always ask them for guidance. Whether it be through reading books, learning about people like Martin Luther King, watching their speeches, watching Malala Yousafzai, or watching fights, watching Manny Pacquiao kick the crap out of somebody else. Or whether it be just going home and talking to your father and having him tell him that he loves you. Because I know that inspires me. So again, I'm going to ask one more time. Who are your heroes and what is your story? You're the author of your story every single day and you get a chance to recreate that every single day. And if you lose sight of that, just ask your heroes. Even if it means just calling them up. I thank you for your time today.